in university, there's computational design classes of different degrees and different calibers with different platforms. But I think I always thought that the emergence of sort of self-taught computation is a lot because of probably the nature of who's wanting to learn it, but at the same time, the fact that Grasshopper is open source to begin with, it just kind of elicits that kind of, oh, it's here, I may as well play with it, and start. So
yeah, it got a lot of people hooked, didn't it?
yeah, well, I mean, me. I mean, I started with computation not as early as Neil,
Yeah.
but we were using Gary technologies like DP and Digital Project and stuff like that, which is like a totally different ball game, and um, and it was so nuanced and so specialized at that time. And then when Grasshopper came out, it became so much more domesticated and sort of diplomatic, and um, I think it was just absolutely great. I mean, just yeah, it's just like a new tool that now everybody can use fairly well, reasonably.
It's a great point. There were quite a bit of like many software packages which were already using these, hierarchical modeling and rule-based models and so on. But always the graph was the graph, right? So not something that you can interact with, not the visual programming side, but it was the representation of the rule sets that you were setting up. And, so for a couple of cases, we talked to some people saying that, hey, you have to make the graph the programming tool, right? So this is like pre-Grasshopper, and then Grasshopper came out. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, we were talking about this one. So
Yeah, it's also great. I mean, I think of Grasshopper almost like like Apple product now, where Grasshopper is just sort of the foundation, but everybody's building plugins for it now, and it just is become this thing that's just you can't. It used to be when that there was like the newest thing was Kangaroo, and it was physics based, and everybody it just blew everybody's mind. Wow, you can now do this with Grasshopper, but now you can't even keep up with the amount of plugins that are coming out. I mean, there's just new ones every day, so. I think that there's something really exciting about that as well, that there's sort of no stopping the trajectory. I think we probably have enough people to start now. I'm sure people will sort of chime in when they can, and at differing times. So please don't be distracted by that. Everybody here is very competent in what they do, and I think in order to sort of build our community, it's important that we disseminate essentially and start to try and insert ourselves into different groups, whatever they are, to try and get new ideas and a different communities. I think that's there's the parallel to Grasshopper. The more you sort of branch out, the more opportunities there are and interesting things that happen. Good segue. That's why we have Onur here. So he is a computational design manager. Manager is sort of almost a bad word in our field. So
I earn it, so that should be okay.
It's a very, very hard job at New Balance. I think everybody's probably familiar with New Balance. I just picked up some New Balance masks because they were so nicely designed the other day. They actually fit me in my big face. It's also why my beard is so short now, because I'm trying to wear the mask. But yeah, so we're really excited about that, and I think it's really important that we have guests talk to us about things that are not necessarily making buildings. Thinking about, and I'm sure Onur's going to talk about it a little bit, thinking about everything that we see and do and sort of design at all scales, and how there are parallels between different industries and how we can sort of be involved or at least learn from other industries. And Onur, please, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. I'm going to share my screen in a moment, but I would like to thank you all guys for the invite. And I should just say that I'm very familiar with name SOM and BlackBox, and I know Neil Katz personally for 15 years. We met in New York when I started working for KPF at the time. So again, just to add to this discussion about Acadia, which I'm on board as well too, and which I've been a part for many years now, I think there has been some, let's say, groups that have been pushing the computational design front a lot. And in New York, believe it or not, like 15 years ago, there were only, maybe 5 to 6 companies who had teams or people that could afford and use computational design. So KPF and SOM were 2 of those, and we would meet, frequently. So, and I knew, how BlackBox was initiated and so on and so forth. So that was like all interesting times. Fast forward, when Daniel got in touch with me, I'm like, guys, I know you already, so it's great to talk. And I've been in Chicago too, to your office, to be honest. I visited the office in 2011, if I'm not wrong. So, met a bunch of people again, and been in New York, obviously. So it's great to be with this architecture community again. And let me share my screen and start.